I have put my dad and myself in Football Manager as managers with perfect attributes. But with us both starting in the Vanarama National League, will we ever have a prestigious managerial career at some of the top clubs in Europe? Or will we languish in unemployment for years? So with Dad at Chesterfield and myself at Gateshead, let's see who gets the early bragging rights. I'm the first person to get Argyle promoted into the Premier League. I only went 3 seasons further forward and so much has happened. What is happening? Real Madrid want my dad. In a way you could say, I relegated 2 teams in 1 season. This is going down as my most fun experiment I think I've ever done. Dad is a legend at Swansea, and I'm the England manager. So at the end of Season 1, the Vanarama National League was won by Wrexham, but as you can see, Gateshead are promoted. Is that with Omega Luke as manager? It is indeed. That is fantastic. They've gone up through the playoff system. Who did they beat in the final? I can see Chesterfield's in 4th. Oh no! So they actually beat Chesterfield in the final, which of course run by Omega Dad. So straight away we have butt heads in the final of the playoffs, and Omega Luke has the first bit of bragging rights, taking his team into promotion. Now I've gone only a season ahead. I don't want to see whether Dad can catch me up, but what I did notice straight away is there is a wanted sign next to myself by Fleetwood, wanting to obviously hire me as a manager. But let's see how Gateshead have done this season. Promotion already? How have I managed to do that? Gateshead and Wrexham both get promoted in the first season in League 2. Which is pretty insane, really. That's fantastic. So I have done an exceptionally good job here already at Gateshead. We go to career milestones, Vanarama National League Manager of the Year and Sky Bet League 2 Manager of the Year. I mean, here we go. We're writing things already. Omega Dad at Chesterfield, though, he is still there. He has won the FA Trophy already. They won that in the first season. So actually, he's had a good start to his campaign there. Not bad at all. But where did Chesterfield finish? 5th place. Did they get themselves promoted though? It doesn't look like it. They are still in the Vanarama National League for now. But they did it in the 3rd season. They qualified through the playoffs on penalties nonetheless as well, after finishing in 2nd place behind Tranmere with 91 points. And you might think, well, now he's finally off the mark. How has he managed to catch up with yourself, Luke? Well, actually, it's a little bit different because I am now a free agent. Yeah, I have been sacked as the manager of Gateshead, which, to be honest, I think is a little bit harsh. I've got them back-to-back promotion when they should never have got even the 1 promotion. They finished 23rd in Sky Bet League 1, and they sacked me at the end of May, at the end of the season, after losing confidence in the dressing room. But I'm sure somebody will want to hire me immediately. I hope. 2 years later, I'm still without a job, as you can see, after being fired from the Gateshead job down the bottom corner there. But Dad is now wanted by 2 teams, Bolton and Swansea, and that's because he has gained promotion again through the playoffs against Exeter in his 2nd season at Sky Bet League 2. Remember, although Dad supports Tottenham and I support Man United, we're both from Plymouth. Plymouth's biggest rivals are Exeter, so that's a nice one for us that Dad's managed to beat Exeter in the playoff final. But 2 years later, welcome to unemployment, Dad. We're both unemployed right now. Dad got sacked after Sky Bet League 1. In Sky Bet League 1, they were relegated in 22nd place. Again, I think it's a little bit harsh, but there we go. And I still haven't had a job since Gateshead. Right, we're at 2031, and I am now the manager of Bradford City. We can see here, Bradford City, we were hired in 2030 after we lost our job at Gateshead 5 years previously. So it's been a while that we've been sat there twiddling our thumbs. We got ourselves a 12th place finish in the league, which is not bad at all. Dad, on the other hand, is unemployed, but it didn't stay that way the whole time. If you take a look at his milestones, he was actually the Sunderland manager, hired as a Sunderland manager in 2030, sacked with them in a year due to their club's poor league position. That employment didn't last very long. I was also sacked. However, I did win the Papa John's trophy, and then they sacked me within 6 months due to the poor league performance. So, there we go. Now, this is a little strange. I am the manager of Plymouth Argyle. Yes, I'll take that. Hired as Plymouth Argyle. No way have I... So, a little bit of story here. Plymouth Argyle, as far as I'm aware at this point, have never been in the Premier League. But have I got them promoted to the Premier League for the very first time? Am I the person who's done that? And kept them up, by the way, in 32 points there. Am I the first person to do that? I need to find out. History summary. No, they did go up. No, I was. I'm the first person to get Argyle promoted into the Premier League. As a boy from Plymouth, I could not be more proud of myself, and I think my dad would also be absolutely buzzing with that, despite him not having a job since Stoke. He's had a job. He was hired as Stoke manager on June 30th, 2033, but he was sacked by November due to the club's poor league position. They were in the Championship. Wow, I mean, whether they're still in the Championship now, that's a different story, but yeah, they are still there. So they were in the Championship when he was sacked. So he was in a Championship club, but he was sacked from there. But I've managed. They got Freddie Youngberg there now. I've managed to take Plymouth Argyle into the Premier League. That's amazing. I thought I'd give it 3 years, and things have just gone mental because I'm now the manager of Sevilla. Yeah, in Spain, and I'm also wanted by Derby. Dad is unemployed, but this is where it gets really strange because Dad did have another job. He can't keep a job right now. After losing his job at Stoke, he was then hired as the manager of Swansea. He was then sacked within a year, which is bad, obviously, over a year. And then something weird happened. If we take a look at myself and go to career milestones, I departed as Plymouth manager to take my dad's job at Swansea, relegate them from the Premier League, was sacked from them, and then I was hired as the manager of Sevilla a month later. I mean, talk about going up in the world. Sacked from the Premier League at Swansea and got the Sevilla job. Now, Plymouth Argyle, I departed as their manager, left them in the Championship by the looks of it. It doesn't look, unless they have only just got themselves relegated. I'm not quite sure. They did. So I actually kept them in the Premier League at 17th. And then I might have got them relegated. I'm not quite sure. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. That I took my dad's job. And now I'm wanted by Derby. And my dad's just sat there twiddling his thumbs, not knowing what to do. Okay, both of us are 41 now. We're in 2042. Dad has got a job. He's at Barnsley. I'm still at Sevilla, by the way. We'll get to me in a minute. But Dad is now a wanted man. Everton. All right, Dad's going up in the world. So Barnsley. What's he done at Barnsley so far? We can take a look. Now, he got himself... Oh, he won the Papa Johns as well. He was hired as Barnsley's manager in 2040. We're 2 years on from that. He won Sky Bet League One Manager of the Year and won as champions the Sky Bet League. That's not bad at all. So he's won that division and he won the cup as well in that, and now he's wanted by Everton. So is Everton a Premier League club? Is that what I'm hoping that they are a Premier League club, because if he is, then we're really cooking on. They are. Are they just survived? Only just survived. Oh, Plymouth been relegated again. They just survived. Man United down in 16th. What the hell's happened there? They've just survived by 3 points. Now, let's take a look at how I'm doing at Sevilla, because obviously we're still there. It's my longest job so far, 6 seasons. We haven't done anything. We haven't done anything as of yet. We finished in 13th this season. That's how low down we have been, by the looks of it. We've been finishing 14th, 13th, 13th. We're not really progressing Sevilla, but we're still at Sevilla, I guess. I only went 3 seasons further forward, and so much has happened. Now, I don't have a job, and if we take a look at myself, I did eventually move to Derby. 4 years after I was wanted by them, I eventually moved to them in 2042, where we last left off, and I was sacked from poor league position the year after. So I didn't really last very long at all, just over a year, 18 months maximum. However, Dad has been around the block a little bit. As we've seen, he was wanted by a Premier League club. He is now at Leicester. We'll get to that, because if we take a look at his career milestones, he's been around a little bit. After that Barnsley League One Manager of the Year, he was hired by Brentford in the July, taken over at Brentford. He was departed from Brentford just a year after, only after a year that he's been there, to be the Sheffield United manager. Then he departed Sheffield United the season after that to become the Leicester manager, where he's won the Europa Conference League. My dad has won a European competition despite me being there at Sevilla for so long. Dad was the first person to win a European competition. absolutely insane. What is happening? We are 3 years later, 2048. I'm now a Sunderland manager, which is one of my dad's former clubs. I think he's had so many. He doesn't have a job, but he's wanted by somebody. Guess who he's wanted by? Real Madrid! Real Madrid want my dad. Right, okay, so Sunderland manager. I am now the Sunderland manager. I was hired as Swansea manager. I was champions of the Sky Bet Championship. Got them to the Premier League. Relegated them. No, I was sacked as the Swansea manager due to the poor position that they were in the Premier League. Hired as the Sunderland manager and relegated them instead. Along as well as Swansea. So, in a way you could say, I relegated 2 teams in 1 season. Okay? Dad, on the other hand, what's he been doing? He was the Everton manager. So he departed as Leicester manager to join Everton in 2046. He was there for 2 seasons and then was sacked as Everton manager. What, 7 seasons after he was actually wanted by them? They were in the Premier League. Was it this season he was sacked by them? I can't remember if it 2048. Yeah, this season he was sacked in January. So they've gone without him for half a season, but they finished in 13th place. So both of us was managing in the Premier League at the same time, and both of us was doing terrible. A very crucial moment. 2 years on from that last bombshell, I am manager of Norwich. Dad is manager of Crystal Palace. Not quite Real Madrid, I know, but there is a wanted sign over my name. And it's Manchester United. So please, for the love of God, that would be amazing. But for now, let's take a look at what I've been doing at Norwich. I was hired after departing Sunderland to agree with Norwich, which is awesome. They did finish in 18th, and I did get them relegated, though, which was in the same season. But they still kept my job, and then I got them back into promotion, which is fantastic. And now we're back into the Premier League by the looks of it after that. And could be going up with Argyle. Palace finished as champions of the same league. So my dad is at that club and got them promoted after he was sacked by Everton. Now, oh my God, so we both went up. How is this happening? You literally couldn't write this script. This is going down as my most fun experiment I think I've ever done. I am currently the Borussia Dortmund manager, which I'll take it, but you should see where I've just come from. I'm also wanted by Juventus. Oh, yes. Dad is back at Swansea, so we'll start off there. What happened there? So he departed Crystal Palace manager the season after, and he's been Swansea manager ever since. Swansea are in the Premier League, so Dad has... Oh, Argyle's just been relegated. Tottenham have won the Premier League, which Dad is obviously a Tottenham fan. This is weird enough as it is, but Dad and his Swansea team have been in the Premier League for 2 seasons. So he's been in there a couple of seasons and he's done quite well with them. But we'll go back to me at Borussia Dortmund. But before we have a look at how Dortmund's doing, we need to look at this because I left Norwich to become the Portugal manager. And I resigned just 2 years later after a run of bad results, and within 6 months I was the Borussia Dortmund manager, which I've been now for just under a season, and I am oh my God, I'm 10th in the Bundesliga. How am I wanted by Juventus? Like, I'm 10th with Borussia Dortmund. I know it's 2053, but still, that is awful. And I have one of the best strikers by the looks of it in the world. He's only 22. And that is, that's awful. I didn't really mention, like, tactics or anything. And we're playing a 4-4-2 here. I set us both up as a 4-2-3-1. I wasn't really, like, keen on changing much, to be honest. But we're looking like we're playing a 4-4-2 here. I don't know what Dad has been doing recently. He's also a 4-4-2 formation. Very strange how we've changed both from a 4-2-3-1, both to a 4-4-2. But, hey, that's why he's my dad, I guess. It's getting wilder because, yes, I don't have a club job, but I have another international job. I'm the England manager. Come on, let's go. I am the England manager. Now, to go back to what I did at Dortmund, my favourite trophy is that DFB Pokal. We won it. Yes, that trophy right there. That is my favourite trophy, and we did win that. I'm so happy with that. When I thought about being Borussia Dortmund manager, I thought, oh, I hope I win that one. But then I was hired as the England manager in 2056, so I've been there for a year so far. I doubt we would, I probably came after a World Cup or something like that. But I'm already wanted by Liverpool, please no, and Tottenham, which is my dad's favourite side. Hilarious, I know. He's still at Swansea, though. He's doing all right. He hasn't moved anywhere. He's won the Europa League. Dad's won the Europa League with Swansea. I don't understand how he's done that. That's mental. That's so good. He's beat Aston Villa in the final. The 7th in the Premier League there. He's done amazing. He has took Swansea to the Champions League. That's insane. Is that their biggest ever trophy? It is. They've never won anything higher. My dad is a legend at Swansea, and I'm the England manager. Well, 2 years later, I thought I'd come and check in now because obviously there's been an international tournament, but I'm no longer the England manager. I'm the manager of Lille in France. So, another twist in the tale of the Omega Luke managerial journey at age 58. Dad is at Blackburn as well, so we'll go to Dad first. He was hired as Blackburn. He was the Liverpool manager. So after he won the Europa League, he then won the Carabao Cup, and he departed that season to become the Liverpool manager in the July, and then lost his job in the December after losing the confidence of the dressing room. It happened that quick. And then he was hired as the Blackburn manager the month after. Literally less than a month, and he was hired as Blackburn manager. So I'm pleased for him. They're still in the Premier League. Come on, Dad. I'm rooting for him now. I am absolutely rooting for him. No Man United in the Premier League. Man United is not in the Premier League, by the way. I need to check this because they're in the Championship. What is happening? This is insane. Right, so they're in the Championship, but we need to ignore that. Tottenham are still winning Premier Leagues as well. This database is very strange. But I am the manager of Lille, and that has come after a spell as the England manager, which I resigned as the England manager to take the job at Lille, which, I mean, we did come second, I guess. PSG have been winning the league. We did come second, only just as well by 3 points. We've done very well. We've got Karl Meyer here, a very good German striker. But why did I leave England? Did they not do very well in the competitions is what I want to know. So whether it was a World Cup 2058 it was. We lost in the 3rd place playoff on penalties in that FIFA World Cup against France. So we didn't quite do very well in that. And we haven't actually won a World Cup since. So I was hoping to be the first one to take England there since 66. That wasn't the case. They've also got Phil Jones as a key player. It's a different Phil Jones, thankfully. Alright, we're 6 seasons later. I'm earning way more than my dad, by the way. Like, over double the amount of wages. He's at Everton, which I think is the 2nd time he's been there, unless it was me who was at Everton. I'm losing track. I'm at West Ham. What's happened? Well, here we go. I mean, I was the Coupe de France winner in Lille. I was hired as West Ham manager, and I won the Premier League and Europa League and Carabao Cup. I have got to be the best manager ever. How have I taken West Ham as... Oh, they have won it before. They won it in 2058. They were already a good side. But I have won the bloody Premier League with West Ham, and I cannot quite believe it. Dad is in the Premier League alongside me there in 9th place with Everton. Plymouth are up there as well. What is happening? But I've gone to West Ham, and I've won the Premier League. I'm the first one to do that. He's won Europa Leagues. I have now done that as well. So far, I would say I have been a little bit more successful, especially in international. We've actually got international jobs. What has Dad done? Hold on. Dad has been to Portugal in this time. After he was sacked from Blackburn, he was hired as Benfica manager. I know. And he won the Portuguese league with Benfica. And then he left to be the Everton manager. What is happening? I don't have him loaded. I can't even see that. But he's been Benfica manager. Unbelievable. Now we've come into the tail end of our careers, age 69. And you'll notice we are no longer managers. We have different jobs. And this is where it gets a little bit strange. I am now the director of football at Newcastle for some reason. Dad is a scout at Arsenal as a Tottenham fan. Oh, I know. So I have left by the looks. Oh no, I was sacked by West Ham. I won the FA Cup. I won the Premier League, the FA Cup. They sacked me. It doesn't even say why. And then I just was signed by Newcastle as their director of football. And that's where I am now, age 69. Dad is a scout for Arsenal, and he is there after being sacked by Everton following a series of bad results. Arsenal came in and were like, we want you 2 years later. And that's what he's done. And he's not a bad scout. It says manager. He can't be a manager. Maybe he's retired from management. That's what I'm thinking has happened right now. I'll go a little bit further, but I think this could be the end. But it turns out I was wrong. 3 years later, I am the Tottenham director of football. Dad has worked his way up from scout to chief scout at Arsenal. So now we're at both North London clubs that were the wrong way round, because Dad is obviously the Tottenham fan. I have probably his dream job, finding players to play for Tottenham, and Dad is finding players to play for Arsenal. I mean, talk about sabotage. And Dad, he's at the Premier League champions. I was at the Premier League champions. I was at the Premier League champions before because Tottenham have won it. How long was I there? I keep getting excited. I'm sorry. I have been there for a season. I took over after they won the Premier League, damn, as their director of football, and now Dad has gone and probably bought some unbelievable players for Arsenal, and then found all of these class players. Chance Vallo, like, yeah, looks really good, and then they go and win the Premier League. This is not fair. This is hilarious, though, isn't it? And yeah, this is where it comes to an end, because Dad is retiring 2077, age 76, as the Arsenal chief scout. And I'm probably going to be not far behind him, to be fair, as Tottenham's director of football. But for the last time in the Premier League, I won the last Premier League trophy, which is a little bit of bragging rights, I guess. But overall, I do think we had a very evens career. I mean, Dad started off not doing so well, then all of a sudden it flipped and I was unemployed for ages. I was the first one to go overseas, but Dad had some great domestic victories there with the League One champions, Barnsley. That's where it started for Dad, I think. He went to Brentford, really quickly went to Sheffield United. That Leicester step up was huge, because then he won a big trophy. He won the first European trophy in this experiment. Went to Everton, probably the biggest club at the time out of the two of us. Oh no, I was at Sevilla, I think. Crystal Palace. Still staying domestically until, obviously, he took a trip to Portugal and won something. I mean, he was Liverpool manager for 6 months. Let's not forget that. Which I think I had maybe a little bit more of a journeyman, I guess. Obviously, I was Portugal manager. I was Sevilla manager really early on, 2036, which is like 40 years ago now. Swansea Derby. Portugal manager, Borussia Dortmund, did very well there. DFB Pokal winner. England manager for a World Cup. I mean, hello. Won something in Lille. Won the Premier League for the first time out of the two of us. I think I might have just edged it. Only just, though, because both of these careers have been absolutely insane. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I have. This is probably my favorite video I've ever done. My favorite experiment I've ever done. So I really hope you enjoyed watching along with me. And maybe check out this video right now, which is very similar. Maybe just not as many twists as this one. But there's two twins who I've set up as Wonder Kids. There is a twist. I'd admit. There's a twist. Watch that one.